All right, ladies and gentlemen, this video is going to help students with number 12, 13, and 14 on the Math 8 review sheet. This will cover all of the scientific notation stuff. So what kind of makes scientific notation difficult is it's not something that we use all the time. And it requires us to change these values to standard form before we can really operate with them. So 9.78 times 10 to the 6, I would write that as 978. I know that my decimal point is currently right here, but I need to make this number bigger by 10 6 times. So here's my decimal point. I'm going to move it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. So I really have this number 9,780,000. Now I've got to add that to 2.1231 times 10 to the 7th. So I'm going to write out my number just like I see it, but without the decimal point. Here's where the decimal point was. I now need to move it 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that gives me the number 21,231,000. So then I just add these together normally in my calculator, which would give me 3, 1, 0, 1, 1, and then 3 zeros, which, let's see, would give me 31,011,000. But the directions asked you to write your answer in scientific notation. So that means I don't want these zeros on. So I'd have 3.1011 times 10. Here's where the decimal point started. Here's where it now needs to go. So we would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So my answer is going to be 3.1011 times 10 to the 7th. Now, 12b is exactly the same, except we have a minus sign. So the first thing we're going to have to do is change 2.43 times 10 to the 4th. So that would be 243. We got to move the decimal place 4 times. It started here, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm subtracting, which I get from that subtraction sign. Let's see, 4, 1, 9. This is a negative exponent, which means I need to make my number smaller by 3 decimal places. So 1, 2, 3 is what I'm actually subtracting. So this is a very big number subtracting a very small number. So this gives us kind of a funky number to even work with. Let's see, 242. 99.99581. So we have to write that in scientific notation, which would be 2.42999958 times 10 to the 4th. That's a pretty tricky one. Here's a hint. There won't be one that tricky on the final. That one's pretty tricky. Let's look at C now. This is the exact same thing, except this time we're multiplying. So again, I got to make 5.2, and I have to move the decimal place 6 times. I got to make my number smaller. So here's where the decimal point starts, right here, and I move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And then I have to times that by 2, 3, 4. Got to move my decimal point 10 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to type that into my handy dandy calculator just like that is. And I get 121,680. And again, the directions ask you to write this in scientific notation. So that would be 1.2168 times 10 to the 5th power. Lastly, letter D, same thing, folks, except you have to divide. So you're going to have to move your decimal point 12 times for the top number and 9 times for the bottom number. So you'd have 396. So that's moving the decimal point 1, 2, and we need 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 over 7, 2. Got to move it 9 times, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. Go ahead and type that into your calculator. You get 550, which is 5.5 times 10 squared. So now let's look at 13 and 14. These are the word problems. So the population in the world, or of the world, was about 6.16 times 10 to the 9th. And the projected population of the world in 2025 is about, what's that, 7 billion? Yep, 7,840,000,000. So, by how much is the population expected to increase, you're going to have to subtract those numbers. So what's kind of nice is that this number is already written in standard form for you. So unlike number 12, where you had to change both of the numbers to standard form, that 7 billion is already written in standard form, and that's the larger number. So you can just write that out, just copy it down. And you need to subtract this number. So that would be 616. We got to move the decimal place 9 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which will give you 168 with 7 zeros behind it. I get that just from typing it into my calculator. And so if I run and write that in scientific notation, because that's what the directions say, that would be 1.68 times 10 to the 9th more people. Lastly, number 14. This one, I've got the mass of the moon is so much, I got the mass of the earth is so much, but check out what the question's asking me to find. How many times larger is the mass of the earth than the mass of the moon? So I know that the mass of the earth is bigger, so I'm going to put that on the top. So mass of the moon is going to be 1.62 times 10 to the 10th. And, oh, I just did that backwards. I hope you were paying attention and caught my mistake. All right, so the mass of the earth is this one. So I'd have 1.3 times 10 to the 25th over 1.62 times 10 to the 10th. So if you write all that out, which gets super, super big, and you divide, your answer will end up being 8.02 times larger. Oh, I'm sorry. 8.02 times 10 to the 14th times larger. Good luck studying for your finals. Those of you who do not have Miss Ryan's 7th hour and have their final tomorrow, you guys are welcome to talk to us before school or after school and get some more help. Otherwise, good luck studying for your finals, guys.